Hello and welcome to another episode of the With the English Pods, talking all things basketball. It's me, your regular host, Kof. In the studio today, we've got my man Ash.
What's up, people?
My man Cons with a talkable shirt, but we'll get there.
Put your hand down, bro.
Faves.
Yo,
And special guest today. Should we call him a special guest?
special guest.
Our boy Kane.
Bro, appreciate you guys. I mean, Kofi's repping my team's colours already, orange and blue skies, bro. Orange and blue skies already. So you know what I'm here to talk about, bro.
if you're a real basketball fan, you know he's talking about this. But we'll get there. As I always like to start, good week, guys. Good week.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good week for me. Cigar lounge yesterday. Relaxing.
It's nice for some.
Yeah, it's been nice, man. Just hitting the gym up and just living and watching basketball at 3-4 o'clock in the morning and enjoying it as well.
That's good, man. I had a good week myself. So, yeah, that's all good.
Good to know.
But I'm sorry, I know this is a basketball pod, but I got to talk about this. Bro, why are you wearing a Man United top to a basketball podcast? I'm trying to understand.
I represent like all of my teams which I support in different sports in every single possible occasion. When it comes to football, it's obviously Manchester United. When it comes to basketball, for me at the moment, it's the Lakers because I'm a LeBron fan and I'll be open and honest. But I'm fundamentally a basketball fan. I like to watch the Celtics. I like to see the victories that the Golden State Warriors have now and then once in a blue moon. And it's a bit too cold to wear a Lakers jersey with the arms out. You know, I don't want to show you up or anything as well.
I hear that. Just so that we know, what was the score tonight?
3-3. It was 3-3. It was an amazing game from what I saw. I saw the first half, but then got caught up in a bit of traffic. I didn't get to see the second half properly. Okay. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not a problem. We're here to talk about basketball.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna bring it back. Let's bring it back to basketball. So obviously basketball's been happening, and the in-season tournament. We got the bracket for the in-season tournament last night. There were a few games on. Obviously, Golden State did play the Kings. I watched that game. Well, I watched 3/4 of that game because Golden State were up 24 at a point, and I said, "Well, this is in the bag." All that I needed to happen in that game was the Kings don't lose by more than 12, and up 24. It's late in the third. I'm thinking this is done.
You're sleep happy, innit?
I was thinking this is game over, and then I woke up in the morning and I checked fantasy and I looked at the score. The score just said 123 to 124. I was like, either way, Golden State had messed it up because Golden State needs to win by more than 12. But I thought, okay, at least for a record's sake, because in-season tournament counts towards your regular season. Thought, okay, we won the game. I looked and saw, no. Kings won the game. I was like, this is crazy. So yeah, obviously the bracket is set. I can't remember the team.
All right, so it's the Suns versus the Lakers.
Yep, that's right. Yep, Suns versus Lakers.
I believe it's New Orleans. So it's Pelicans versus Kings. So that's the West bracket.
Yep.
And then you got the Pacers versus the Celtics. And then you got the Bucks versus the Knicks.
Okay. Well, decent games. Obviously, there's a few big teams that didn't make it. The Mavs, Golden State, Heat. You know, there's quite a few big teams. But as I think we said,
would you say that the Heat is a big team nowadays? Though
I would.
Come on, bro.
No. I'm just asking a question.
They've hit a couple. Nuggets on there.
Nuggets on there.
Yeah, you can't forget the champion. They've all like this. I don't know if they count as a medium or large market if you talk about Miami. But
market is different. I'm
they're a big market now.
They're a big market. But on top of that, like, was that 2 finals appearances it's hard to not call it.
I think it's 3 and 5.
You know, like their franchise guy also goes beyond just basketball. If anything, he's probably known just as much for and we don't pay attention to Jimmy until the postseason anyway. From like the summer all the way up until that point, like we probably made more attention to the antics in actually a good way. I find it a lot of fun. But yeah, like you're gonna have teams that miss out, and I think ultimately speaking, you know, if you listen to a few of the words that you've heard from players regarding their buy-in in regards to obviously the tournament, like now you're hearing different reasons as to why they want to obviously win it. Like for example, listening to the coverage for the Knicks game, you know, hearing that the players want to win it because of obviously the players at the end of the bench of the staff. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if is it 500K
per Per player, yeah.
It's actually per player.
Yeah.
Like, if you think
So
about it,
rookie
they put
contracts and all that stuff.
That's what the bomb was saying, and the billionaire was like, "Oh, I'm taking this seriously. It's 500k on the line." Thinking, come on, man, you got enough money.
But that pays for their holidays.
No, what it is. But Dame said it best, though, because it's not about him, because obviously he's got that. It's about the players that don't necessarily have that, which is fair enough. And that's very commendable when you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we saw Steph trying to rally the troops in the end of the third and the fourth. Saw Chris Paul come up behind the curtain like he's Willy Wonka, trying all this business. You know what I'm saying? Pop showed up.
I think it actually, like, there's been lots of talk about whether it's a good thing, especially in America. They're like, to them, there's a lot of it that doesn't make sense. I guess for us, we understand kind of an in-season tournament thing because we have football and FA Cup and Canada Cup and so on and so forth. For them, they didn't really understand it. The one thing I didn't get is how the points system works. So it's not just about winning the game; it's by your margin of victory as well. So that's like, for example, the Celtics and Bulls game yesterday. Like, Celtics were winning, but they weren't winning by enough. So they just went to Hacker Drummond, and basically every time Bulls had the ball, there was Hack Drummond to go and shoot free throws because he's not a good free throw shooter. So all they're doing is turning the ball over. The Celtics are going back down the other end and scoring. That's just running their points. I think they ended up winning for something like 30-something or maybe just under. They needed to win by 23. And essentially they won by more than that. So, like, I think from that perspective, a lot of coaches, like, you saw the Celtics coach explaining to the Bulls coach, like, this is why I'm doing this. Like, not trying to take the piss out of basketball, but we want to secure.
It's about winning, isn't it?
And
nasty business, though, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's just like, well, it's nasty business maybe as much as the aesthetic. But regardless of the situation, like, we also champion for players for taking advantage of rules and manipulating the rules. For me, that's just another version of what James Harden does on the other end of the court.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to take advantage, even if it doesn't look pretty, because it's effective. And at the end of the day, because, you know, NBA basketball is a space, it's a sport, it's its own form of basketball where there's a lot of rule changes as opposed to somewhere like what we're more accustomed to with football, where significant changes tend to happen like per generation, every half generation, as opposed to basketball, it seems to be happening every 2 or 3 years. Players will also hack onto that. And if you're going to say in the in-season tournament, you know, point differential makes a difference, we're going to target the guy that's going to,
of course.
But then even with FIBA, if you look at the rules and things like obviously you got standard traveling, but what James Harden would have done, he couldn't get away with that in certain places. If you look at the likes of Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo, for example, when he does a Euro step, it's the traditional Euro step. When you see other people, when you see in the NBA certain moves that they do, you'd be called out for it in the FIBA.
I think that's because, don't quote me on this, but I think in FIBA there's no such thing as a gather step. Whereas in the NBA there is a gather step. So essentially in NBA you have 3 steps, whereas in FIBA rules there's 2, which is why a lot of the stuff would be called a travel in FIBA based rules,
exactly,
not in the NBA.
I prefer the NBA because it looks flashy, man. You can't imagine if you did that to Kyrie, you wouldn't get to see half of that stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. And you have to admit, like, NBA is the best basketball league in the world. That's why we sit here and talk about it all the time. That's why we watch it.
But you know, when you adjust the rules, players will adjust accordingly. So Kyrie's that much of an artist. I don't even call him a basketball player. He's an artist, right? So he'll just carve out something new accordingly. So even when people look at the arguments about back in the day, there's hand checking, etc. When it comes to basketball, the people will just adjust to the relevant time to be able to get the most points. So
you are right, but if the rules are going to change, I don't see NBA changing the rules to be the other way around, because everyone knows that NBA is like the leader.
That's very true.
If things are going to change, it's going to all change the other way around.
Do you think which rule do you think is best though, the FIBA rule or the NBA? In your personal opinion,
with what I said, like, I prefer the more flashy stuff personally. So I much prefer the 3-step rule.
Yeah, now for real, Kyrie's the guy.
Yeah, with me personally, like you said, I don't think the Celtics coach owes the other coach any explanation. You all know there's a in-season tournament. You know the Celtics are trying to qualify, getting their point differential. I don't owe you an explanation. If it was in the playoff game, I would have done the same thing. I don't owe you an explanation. Right. You got a guy on your roster that can't shoot and can't make free throws. Tell him to go get in the gym.
Do you know what?
That's not my fault.
The Bulls coach could have sat him. It's as simple as that.
He could have sat him. Could have
said, go ahead, take a seat.
No, I do think it's nasty, but at the same time, would I have done anything different? Probably not. like you said, it's the rule.
true.
Like it is what it is, really. And like you said, get in the gym. But how long has John been in the league for? Like Aleppo's never going to change his spots. He's been in the league for how long now? What? I couldn't tell you. 10+ years maybe. He's not going to get better at free throws overnight.
But then we can all see. So we're sitting here. We can all see what's being done. So I don't understand why he was staying in the game. I'm watching. I'm like, I can see what's going on here. Make the adjustment.
The commentators were calling it out.
Yeah,
they're hacking him. Just take him out. They're like, no, he was leaving him in.
Do they not have a replacement center or something? I don't quite understand.
It doesn't really matter. Play small ball.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, true.
It doesn't really matter. In that instance, if you are so upset by what's happening, play small ball. Even if you lose, even if you end up losing by that margin, you at least did something to try and stop what they were doing.
The dividends, they would have changed 100%. The whole game, just move faster on the ball.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're competitive. Okay, the competition isn't necessarily the most easiest competition in the whole of the NBA, but it would have definitely made an adjustment.
True.
And then you would have forced their hand regardless to do something else.
There's no bullying in sport, man. Just work on your craft. If you got a weakness, the opposition are going to take advantage of it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. And the best basketball players all make adjustments. Even, and I'm sorry to move it to LeBron, but even a man going 39 next month in a couple of weeks, right? He's made adjustments, and that's why his legacy's this good for this length of time. He can now, his 3-pointer has gone up definitely. His free throws are not necessarily always been the best, but they have made subtle improvements, 1 or 2% here and there. So he makes adjustments, and he should have done the same. But that's why he would never be an elite or a superstar. He had his moment and it's gone.
Talking of LeBron, I want to bring it back to the actual in-season tournament, and the first game is Lakers-Suns. How do we see that one going?
I think it depends on health. Personally speaking, there's been a few lineup changes. I don't know. Do you guys feel like there's a consistent Lakers lineup? Because I feel like outside of D'Lo, obviously AD when available, and LeBron, Austin Reeves, does he start regularly? Like, do you feel like there's a starting five that you could trust going into the playoffs right now? There's still a few players to come back, like Vanderbilt. But I don't know. I guess even without Beal, I see any team with Durant and Booker just available. Like even when they done to my Knicks the other day with just Booker, like they are showing that their role players can actually contribute over the course of a season. We'll see. In an elimination game, we'll see. But I think there's a conversation that we have to move away from that. Just continually speaks about just Beal, KD, and Booker, because even the way that they set up, just speaking the role players, I think Suns are in for a win against the Lakers. So I'm actually siding Suns. Yeah.
When it comes to the in-season tournament, the Lakers actually probably been playing the best. They were the first to qualify, and it seems like the mission is I want to win this, and I feel like it's coming from LeBron. For his GOAT conversation. It's like, I want to be the first person to win this. MJ hasn't won this. You can't win it. It's another step on my legacy. So I feel like the Lakers are really going for that. And those are the games AD seems to be turning up in as well. So for me, that would be the best game of the first round. And is KD back healthy yet?
I'm not even had a look yet. Let's have a look.
You know what I'm saying? And I think I have a sneaky suspicion Bill might turn up in that game.
What? He'll be healthy?
I have a sneaky suspicion.
Yeah, I can believe that. I think for me, it's about the second roster in that team. So LeBron will do what he needs to do. We know minimum, that's a 20-point game for him, right? And I think AD will show up. But for me, it's really going to be about, is Rui going to be there? Right? These people are very integral to their team, right? So the fact of you don't have your marquee defender barring out of AD, being Vanderbilt, and he is an absolute dog when it comes to it. So for me, I might unfortunately side with Suns.
No, you can't do that, bro.
Right?
Sorry, you can't do that.
Right?
No, you can't do that.
No, because I'm looking at it as a team game, innit? And as a team game, right, the reality is I think that LeBron can definitely carry with a certain amount of quarters and do what he needs to do. But because they don't have a consistent second string set of guys to come in, right? Without that consistency and that cohesiveness, you're not going to be able to go out there, especially if Bill turns up, which I think he may as well. Yeah, but for me, I might edge it slightly to the Suns.
FaZe, before you go, I just want to point something out. This is LeBron in a knockouts game we're talking about,
Okay.
We're not talking LeBron regular season, it's LeBron in a tournament, in a knockout game that he wants to win. Siding against LeBron, I don't know if I couldn't do that.
We saw what happened like a few months ago when he came up against Joker. Like, I think it's a thing of the conversation around LeBron. Like, he's no longer that player where he wants to win and they're going to win. Like, let's be honest about that. But also...
okay.
he shouldn't be though.
He shouldn't be.
He shouldn't
yeah.
And, but also, like, even though he's shown, especially this season, like he still has the ability to turn it on. Don't get me wrong, like he has that ability. But I think it's to your point.
Yeah,
it does rely heavily on at least one or two other people, even giving 60-70% of what he can give. And I think I don't trust AD enough. I don't trust D'Lo enough. Like Rui can catch fire. There's guys that can catch fire, but like there is no other consistent semi-Robin. Not even Dick Grayson, no Tim Drake, no Jason Tatum. None of these man. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's D'Lo for me is he is a part of the actual key to everything actually working. For example, his shooting percentage has been horrendous this year, right, this season. So he's taken too many shots in certain instances. So for me, it's definitely been a massive inconvenience. Now, thankfully, you've got AD there, and he's been doing amazing, barring maybe his last game in terms of the rebounds and being actually Defensive Player of the Year, potentially. He's been doing really good. But D'Lo's taking too many shots and he's not scoring. And we finally getting the wave of Austin Reeves doing his thing. AR has been hitting buckets. Did anyone see the 3 that he done? I think it was 2 games ago.
Dallas.
When he was it Dallas when he drowned? Listen, Austin Reeves is doing bits. But again, we still need that relevant supporting cast to ensure. And with that inconsistencies, with any team in any sport around the world, it's hard to get a win.
See, but right now, I just don't trust Lakers enough to get the win against Phoenix. Like, everyone knows LeBron's gonna do what he does. Like he'll do what he does, but I don't trust the supporting cast. Even AD, I don't think he's where he needs to be in order for Lakers to be at their best. Like I feel like in order for Lakers to win stuff, AD needs to be the best player in the court. It shouldn't be LeBron.
Facts.
At this point in his career, it needs to be AD. Yeah. He's not doing what he needs to be doing in order for Lakers to really be where they want to be at this point.
You know what AD does? As long as he's not playing an all-star caliber front court player, he'll turn up. So anytime he plays a Porzingis, a Joel Embiid, a Giannis, a Jokic,
tear him up.
You know what I mean?
You know, like the narrative.
What's the guy at Sacramento? I'm forgetting his name. My guy, Sabonis. Yeah. Look what kills him. Look what Embiid did to him the last game. He blocked him in. He blocked him in the middle of the second quarter, and for the rest of the game, AD made 2 points, and Embiid just went on to bully him for another. Whatever, the rest of the second and the third, and AD didn't even play the fourth, I don't think. I don't remember seeing him. Yeah. All off one block and intimidated. He bullied him, he backed him down in the post, little hook shot over him.
He needs to come push with me, bro.
Just pushed him out the paint, got the rebound. And AD just disappeared.
I don't want to stay focused on AD and the Lakers for too long. But I hear what you're saying, and you are right, and I think we've said it before, but I just want to point out one thing. I've got 3 LeBron fans sitting in front of me telling me
LeBronites
that 3 of you, and you're all telling me LeBron is not going to win this one knockout game.
It's not even like we said. It's not LeBron. We've got full confidence in LeBron. No, but you're forgetting it's a team game, and everyone always puts it down to, even when we look at the GOATs of the past, right, in their different fields, it's still a team game. Who was getting the rebounds at the Bulls back in the day? It was Rodman, right? Yeah. It's a team game regardless. So LeBron can go and get 50 and still lose.
We've seen it. We've seen a better version of him doing it.
It's not 2018 anymore either, man.
He took, sorry to cut you, Golden State Finals, yeah? LeBron was definitely, right, when 73-9 win team, right? Yeah. LeBron was definitely the MVP of the finals. But they gave it to, what's my guy that's retired now? Iguodala, right? He couldn't, he had no Kevin Love, he had no Kyrie Irving, and he's still done, and he still lost.
I don't disagree with you.
So what is he meant to do now? He's older.
7 games.
Right. Yeah, okay.
He lost over 7 games.
Okay.
We're talking about 1 game.
But the context is he's 39 in a couple of weeks.
But he lost over 7 games. They didn't get swept.
But he's still going up against one of arguably the greatest scorers in the history of the game, being Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Right?
You can't say that. Not when you're talking about LeBron.
Like,
going up again.
LeBron is the greatest scorer.
LeBron is the greatest scorer.
No, but okay. In terms of efficiency, Kevin Durant is a different animal in my personal opinion. Yeah, well, especially when he's jumpers. And then you got Devin Booker. He's not a slouch. He's in my fantasy team. Trust me. I'm finally getting a winner here. He's back.
I'm agreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah. But I'm just saying, LeBron in 1 game, in a knockout game, I'm siding with LeBron. I don't care who he's playing against.
What about who he's playing with?
Big pause.
Honestly, you've seen him, like you just said, we've seen him go against a great Golden State team without Kyrie, without what was his name? Matthew Dellavedova was his second best player.
But that was 8 years ago. That was 2015.
But this is LeBron. You're acting like LeBron's level has diminished. It hasn't.
But 2015 and 2023 to go into 2024.
Okay, LeBron's level has.
I don't think it's even a case of level. I think it's also like, regardless of what you want to talk about, he's greater at this or at that. There's a degree of omnipotence that he had back then he doesn't have now. Or in a sense of like, bro, like even him coming off the court. Obviously, him coming off the court now still has a major impact, but like it's in a way where it's almost a vacuum. Like you said, how many interviews have you seen where players recounting their LeBron stories, right? DeMar DeRozan talking about it, where they're talking about him just being on the presence saying, hey, this, that, like half the Mon Trumpet stories. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the aura for me is not the same. Like, bro, did we not see? Do you think in 2015, Pat Beverly is doing this to LeBron?
I hear you, and I know
yes, because he's crazy.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't want to stay on the Lakers, but like, come on, LeBron.
I hear your logic, but we have in reality when you pick out say 8 players, right, who are fit right now, what team on paper should win? When you add context to everything, let me ask that question to everyone before we move on.
What team should win?
Yes,
on paper.
Who's currently fit?
The Suns.
Cool. So us making a logical decision on the Suns makes sense.
LeBron defies logic.
Who's the LeBron night? Is it 4 LeBron? 3, I think it's 4.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing.
LeBron defies logic.
He's just because Golden State are not there.
Let's move on to the second West game, which is the Kings. Should have been Golden State, but Kings versus Pelicans.
No, it shouldn't have.
Yeah, it should have. But anyway, we've done that. Kings versus Pelicans.
That should be a clean Kings win. I'm high on the Kings more because of the Aaron.
Yeah, Fox.
I don't see. I'm gonna take credit for this one. See, guys don't know this. Do you remember the March Madness, the Lonzo, the Aaron battle?
Yeah.
That I can't lie to you. Like I did not pay attention. I didn't know who he was before that. We all knew who Lonzo was. That was, I think, personally speaking, the day that a lot of people became Fox fans. All knew who Fox was. Like he's always been like dynamite. Like, you know, and I think it's a thing of who's their coach at the moment? Is it who the Kings coach?
It's the guy that was at Golden State, the black guy. What's his name?
Is it Mike Brown?
Mike Brown? Yeah, Mike Brown. Like, you know, I was watching a certain podcast. I don't know if from another podcast where he was a guest, and you can tell like players really mess with him.
Yeah,
and it seems to be the case of Kings. You know, going back to the Chris Webber days, like they've always had a little bit about them, but they haven't had that kind of talent pool which allows them to really compete at the high level regardless of who, you know, is the head coach. But now they've got a head coach with championship experience. He's been part of great rosters. He seems to get on really well, not only with obviously players of the older generation, but with younger players. Like, you know, the Kings seem to be a young roster, but also I think they're at that point now where they're ready to win big. And this will be a good opportunity to obviously make a statement against the Pelicans. I guess Pelicans, regardless of who the talent is, you've got B.I., I know you got Zion, but really and truly, when you look at it, they're in a whole different tier right now. But at the end of the day, basketball's basketball. But especially after the win against the Warriors last night, I don't see a reason why.
Yeah, I think CJ's out for a while, isn't it? Yeah, so but I actually disagree with you. I think the Pelicans is horses for courses. They seem to have the beating of the Kings because they can't do anything with Zion. Sabonis can't do anything with Zion. So if they play through Zion, they seem to get the better of the Kings. So for me personally, I'm going to go with the Pelicans for that one.
My money's on Kings, I'm not going to lie. It's Kings all the way for me. I actually think Kings and Bucks in the final. That's my prediction.
Anyway.
Interesting. I'm going with the Kings as well. I'm a big Fox fan. Obviously, it's my fantasy team. So I see him carrying them through.
I need some bonus, bro. I got him, sorry.
I don't like the Kings, and I've said this. We played them last season in the playoffs, and Draymond got suspended for no reason. Actually, it's a lie.
So basically, you're biased.
I am biased. I'm not going to lie. However, I think the Kings will... Watching the rest of the game, when I woke up this morning and seeing how they galvanized themselves and got back into the game against Golden State, and in a sort of like a one and done game, I think Fox... For the first 3 quarters, Fox had like 8 or 9 points. Then from the third quarter, he ended up with 29 points. Like, I think he can just turn it on a switch.
That's a very good point. But I think we're underestimating how important that win was to the Kings. Obviously, because like that's the monkey on their back. In the playoffs, obviously they thought they were going to win that. They didn't. But to show they can come back from that hole against a team, a seasoned team.
24 down.
That's
24,
massive.
You know?
That's normal.
It's not even just that. I think Golden State have beaten them 11 of the last 12.
See, that's what I'm saying.
They've had them on the ropes. And I remember when Golden State finally beat the Clippers, it was the other way around.
Yeah.
And they went on their run. So these are like the little baby steps you need to take.
Completely flip a mindset of a team to think, well, you know what, we can do this. We can actually win in the big moments.
I generally think it's their mindset though. It's generally their mindset. They don't care if they're 50 points down. I know it's ridiculous, but they genuinely believe they can win. And that's why I give it to them. I actually think even if Lakers beat Suns, I actually think they'll beat Lakers.
Fair. Moving on to the East. First game, Pacers Celtics.
I think the Celtics should be a customary win for the Celtics. I know Halliburton's on fire, but I think the Celtics got too many weapons, and he's Drew Holiday on Halliburton should just make that a comfortable win for the Celtics for me personally.
Didn't they just have a 154, 157 game, those two? Or was it?
It was a dumb scoring one,
yeah. But I feel like people underestimate Indiana. I think they're kind of deeper than people realise. I mean, we're going to talk about Halliburton. They've got Buddy Hield. Is it Mathurin? Mathurin? How do you pronounce his name? Is that Mathurin? Mathurin.
Yeah.
Like for me, like he's a live wire. He was used coming off the bench last year, obviously rookie season. Like him at 2 guard or at the 3, he can get you buckets. He can be a spark plug. Obviously, you got Obi, my guy, coming from New York. He's getting more minutes, more of opportunity over there at the 4. You've got Bruce Brown coming over from Denver. Obviously, you got Miles. Like they've got players, bro.
They can drop threes,
they got players, bro.
They can shoot.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can shoot.
Yeah, and like I feel like where Boston may have that advantage is the fact that like Porzingis is playing like crazy right now, and I think it's just like it doesn't become Miles Turner versus Porzingis because that's the thing. It's a good matchup because they're very similar. You know, they're big fives, but they like to play stretch 4 essentially. So really, I actually think that'll probably be the closest game out of all 4 of the top 8. Personally speaking, that'll be the closest one.
Cool.
I think it's just dependent upon how much the Celtics want it. Celtics have it to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. So if they want it, if they genuinely want it, Celtics will win. Right. But if they slip and there's just a bit of just in season, I can't be bothered, then Pacers will win it.
That can't be the case because you saw them hack a Drummond.
Yeah. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the mentality on the day, is wrong. But for me, Celtics win that.
Sorry to cut you. Like I've seen it also from Jason Tatum, where like they go where Jason goes, as well as Jalen Rugg could be playing. You know, if Jason Tatum is just doing his thing for whatever, like, we know Jalen Brown has the ability to obviously step it up, but to your point, that the mentality shift, I think, relies more on Tatum than it does on Brown.
I agree.
It used to be 1A, 1B between Tatum and Brown, but now there's a clear 1 and 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, but also as well, I think what we're not taking account for is this is going to be more of a playoff environment. I think the refs are going to be more playoff environment, and that suits the more seasoned veteran teams, which the Celtics are. For me personally, I think
it's a game 7 essentially.
And what we know for a fact is Tatum plays up in the playoffs, and so does Drew Holiday. We don't really have a record of anybody on the Pacers playing in the playoff environment other than Bruce Brown, really. And even then, he's not the guy that carries the team. He's a superb role player.
That's fair. Final game, Bucks Knicks.
What do you think?
I think you know what everyone else thinks.
Would you think it's gonna be that easy?
I you know what? I don't know about easy, but I do see like it should be comfortably. I think Barcelona win comfortably.
All right, so this is
why you came.
This is my thing when it comes to that, right? You do know when it comes to the defense thing, like, you know, the Knicks does this, and it's not just like a this season thing for the last 3 years. If there's one thing you can rely on, and I know obviously it's not playoffs, but in a one-off game, I trust home and away. Like Knicks can get it done defensively, right? If there's one big difference where, and obviously I'm sure we'll get to talk about this, where the Knicks have improved this year, RJ's, you know, doing a little bit better in this regard is the ball movement. So I think where Bucks have lost Drew Holiday, obviously Dame gives you something completely different offensively, but where they've obviously lost that elite perimeter defender, do you see what Jalen Brunson is doing? And I actually think it may not even be up to Greek, it may not even be up to Randall. It would actually be Jalen versus Dame. And it will be really good to see. I'll check the stats out in a second. Brunson was actually one of the best players last season, regular season anyway, when it comes to clutch time. So
he is. He is. You don't need to check the stats.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, like, in comparison to Dame, like, it would be good to see like where they match up.
For me, just before we go, are you all saying Bucks?
Yeah, I'm saying Bucks because because of Dame. Because I think this is a first real moment. I mean, we had a conversation on the pod before about it's his time now, isn't it? Like, prove you're on an A-list team, right? Yeah, technically, physically a small market, but you're in that team, right? Go and do something. So he's going to want to turn up. I see him scoring 30 plus, right? Like, I'll probably put a bet on to say he's going to score 30 plus.
But the thing is, Jalen Brunson is just lucky to do as much as it's the same.
Yeah, but then there's a guy named, have you heard of, it's Giannis? Have you heard of him? Right?
Yeah,
so...
right.
And again, I like the energy of Knicks, and again, Randall's on my fantasy team, innit? So I need him to do some bits. But I've also got Giannis too, right? So either way, I'm winning.
Don't flex, bro,
right? But then just that one moment, I think Dame's going to be the key person for it, and I think he's going to turn up. He has to.
Do you know who's playing at home?
Bucks.
Is it in Bucks?
Yeah, the
Bucks are 1 seed.
Yeah.
So just for me, I agree with everything. What I was going to say, I agree with actually everything you said, Cons, in the fact that Dame is there for a reason. This is why Dame is here. Dame is here to show us he's that guy. For that reason alone, I'm saying it's got to be the Bucks.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's got to be.
Also, I just wanted to say, well, I think Fabian, you guys are going to go next, but you can't rely on Randall in pressure situations.
Well, do you not think this is, to your point, like the difference between like the playoff, and obviously this being a tournament setup? Because I actually think, especially off the back of the game he had last night, where I think he got career high in rebounds at 25-20, and bearing in mind, like, he's not a big four either.
Who's rebounding against?
Who do you play yesterday? Obviously, Miles Bridges. I don't know if he played as a forward.
Was it the Bobcats?
Yeah, he will play Hornets.
Bobcats. I went back in the day. Yeah. Bobcats.
But even still, like, Randall tends to, be pretty high when it comes to rebounds. Like, he averages, I think, like 8 to 9 rebounds a season.
What's he doing with guys like Lopez out there? And
yeah, but like, it goes on to my point. I guess, as I said, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I actually will say there's a shout for who's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Mitch Robinson.
We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So obviously, those are the 4 games. Obviously, then it goes to semi-finals. But just to round this up, if you were to call one team to win this in-season tournament, who would it be?
I'm gonna go. My dark horse is Indiana. Outside in the Knicks, obviously, I'm going to Indiana.
Okay, I'll say the Bucks. I think it's very hard to look past them.
My dark horse is Kings, but I think Bucks.
Celtics.
LeBron James. LeBron James is going to win this tournament.
I hope you're right.
I want the Suns to win, but I think the Celtics will win.
I can understand. It's like it's written in the stars, isn't it? If he wins,
LeBron James.
If he wins, do you think it'll be overplayed though? Like the media reaction, if you like, in terms of, oh my god, because really and truly, it would be great if he won it. It would be the best thing for the tournament if LeBron won it, though. That's what I will say, because I think it will. Yes, there'll be some detractors in the same way there was for the bubble ring. But think about, like, if I'm Adam Silver and LeBron, the quote unquote GOAT is the first one to win the in-season tournament. I think it's a good step.
It definitely adds more attention to the tournament as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it gives more credence to how serious people are taking it.
Yeah.
When is the finals for that in games?
Sunday, I believe.
Saturday night for us.
It's in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
The semi-finals and finals in Vegas.
Semi-finals and finals in Vegas.
Because I think the finals doesn't count towards your actual.
No, it's only the finals is the only game that doesn't. All the others do.
What day was that on? That's not the 5th. It was what, the 10th, right? December.
9th.
10th.
Yeah.
It's close to his birthday.
Yeah,
right.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I can't look past the Lakers and LeBron James. I can't. It's not possible.
Fair. We'll see.
We'll see.
But moving on, obviously, my boy Kane is here today.
Do you know what, man? Before we even get started, I feel like that seat is missing someone who will remain nameless.
You mean Ayo?
Yeah.
Don't worry, man. He'll be
bro,
here.
Like,
he'll be here
when you're ready, bro. When you're ready.
But yeah, my boy Kane is, and as he introduced himself, he's a big Knicks fan. So, as you were just talking, give us your insight into the Knicks.
Well, do you know what? I feel like you guys have been part of a bit of a joke.
Before you go on, I just want to say, make everybody aware, I hate the Knicks. But
okay, do you guys
see the colours though? Do you see the colours?
You're sitting in the colours right now. You're looking really You're looking real valid right now.
No, it's not the Knicks that I hate. I hate your fans. your fans, you're just too much.
Just New Yorkers.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate Madison Square Gardens. I can't lie, that place. I tell you what, Madison Square Gardens reminds me of Old Trafford, right? Because it needs a lick of paint. Yeah? I've had the privilege to be there. It needs some money. It's like
win something first,
right? But you know what? You say that. No, do you know what?
How many times have you been to Madison Square Garden?
I've walked around it.
Right?
The one time.
I have been, I paid my 2 bills to get into the gate to watch a game, and I'm on there. I think I'm there December the 5th, I think.
We know that, rich.
Right? I think it's December. I'm there next week, yeah? Right? I'm in York for a couple of days. Anyway. And
you're gonna give me a look.
Must be nice, man.
Where did you just come from?
Are you gonna go?
Bro, he's going to New York, bro.
Where did you just come from?
Are you gonna go to a game?
Then I'm going to a game. I'm DJing. I'm DJing over in New York, so I'm gonna go to a game.
Okay, sorry.
And then but bro, every time I've gone there, like, the place is like it's they sell the same food. When I went there when I was 20, they sell the same food for more money, for less amount, get less food. Everything's the same. The same mark on the wall that man saw 10 years ago is still there today.
But you know what? It's culture though, because I would argue
culture.
It's culture, bro.
Someone's graffiti tag is not culture.
Nah, bro. Listen, because you know, as much as you say that, I would argue it's the franchise is worth more today than it was when you first saw it.
Yeah, because of inflation.
And then, of course, that too. But like, it's still, even outside of basketball, you still get sellout shows there. Like Andrew Schultz, even he's a comedian, obviously big podcaster now. Like, he even done his first big show there. So it's still a place where people want to go, whether you be on the court, whether you be performing, you want to go there and show out. And I understand like this whole thing of, I don't understand how you guys could be jealous of a fan base that doesn't win.
But they're like Arsenal supporters, bro. They're like Arsenal supporters to contextualize it to UK football, right?
You're talking crazy.
They are delusional, bro.
Crazy.
Right? Crazy. They are delusional.
We're delusional. Right? You're wearing a Manchester United top.
Yeah, we're not
the NBA podcast on the night you got knocked out the Champions League. What's going on? What's going on?
I got no problems with that. But Knicks fans are delusional. Like, they believe that they're gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna win.
We need to stop that. We need to stop that agenda. Right. This is my thing.
It's not. It's the truth.
It really isn't.
They are.
We're gonna talk about the team, but I feel like this is an important reason why I'm even here today. Yeah. I don't know how much attention you guys, and maybe it's incorrect and flawed to judge a general fan base by their media. Obviously, we live in a different time now. I mean, like, look what we're doing right now, right?
Bro, I'm judging by being there and seeing my man with glasses. The director guy just acts dumb, bro. And everybody else. That's how. Apology, for real.
No. But that's how they're supposed to be, though. Okay, obviously, cool. Like, you know, one of the reasons why Knicks, the fan base is so big is because it does really travel, right? Like, obviously, within stateside, New Yorkers travel everywhere. The fact that it's from, you know, one of, if not the most major city in the world, means that even fans like myself became a fan because I was there the one time 15 plus years ago. And I think when you talk about the expectations of fans, a lot of it is also the capabilities. You really got to think about, okay, that Melo era, you know, 2014 onwards, that little big gap, absolute mess. Then obviously Leon Rose comes in, Tibbs comes in, and obviously Tibbs doesn't come in as a championship winning coach. I think wasn't he on the an assistant coach for the 08 Celtics team? I think he was an assistant coach for a championship team, but he wasn't a actual head coach. But he does come with a degree of pedigree, obviously, from Bulls, from Minnesota. I think where the Knicks are is what I've been saying to you, man, for a minute, which is we, as a fan base, have got too carried away with building championship squads off just like superstar names. Obviously, you need superstar talent to maximize your ability to win. But really, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him as a superstar signing, but the way it's looking, if Philly don't do what they need to do, this Knicks team, obviously you're going to have to take away a couple guys, with Embiid, are automatically top 2. And it's because of the work that started from 2 to 3 years ago where I've said, like, yo, the draft capital that they're building, even the way they've developed young talent, like Barrett could go and be a high asset for obviously getting a superstar talent in. IQ, the contract that he's about to be in, like, really, truly, he should be starting. He's maybe
6 man of the year candidate.
Yeah, he's a year and a half away from where I don't think there's a massive talent gap between Maxey and IQ.
Respect Maxey.
No.
Respect my guy.
And so I don't think it's big. I don't think it's a big one.
Just because they look the same and they got dreads. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying I'm not because I would say offensively Maxey's better than him, but defensively, forget bench plays, whatever. Emmanuel Quickley is one of the best defensive perimeter players in the league, point blank, right now. And considering he's coming off the bench and he can get you 15 to 20 on any given night, You're talking about obviously Josh Hart coming off the bench. You're talking about Hartenstein coming off the bench and being able to contribute, even if it's just for his defense. Mitchell Robinson, the way he's defending right now, he's always been a great rim protector, but the way he's defending coming out of the lane and not having to get into as much foul trouble, but obviously averaging 30 plus minutes now, you're talking about a team that's literally, for the first time ever, you can say we are genuinely one piece away. Going back to the year where we were supposed to try to get Zion in, and then KD and then Kyrie in, and then those stupid expectations because we moved away from that mentality. So I would actually implore, and this is for everyone here, we talk shit about the Knicks, right? Pay attention to some more media, even if you're just on Twitter, because you would actually find that the fan base that really pay attention are actually very, very much grounded. It's just more so the PSD. That's where I understand the Arsenal comparison. It's the PTSD, right? It's that any little thing, just like, oh my God.
That one thing, one game, and that's it. The whole thing's like, but what I do, they are built for like a playoff style team, right? And especially defenses can win you the playoffs, right? So I get that and I understand that. But as you've said, rightfully so, they are one trade or one big acquisition from doing that. We can all see it. But
do you think? Because I feel like the way people talk about the Knicks is as if
they're not winning any chip.
But I don't think we necessarily have to talk about them just like any other team. I guess that if you talk about teams like Dallas, they've got talent that you feel could win you a chip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Kings, is Fox that player? Yeah, like he's closer to that than, or is he closer to that than a Brunson? Like Fox is more talented as a guard than Brunson, but Brunson seems to have like leadership skills that, Fox has. I wouldn't say he's a leader. Like Fox is easily a leader, but he has a maturity, a groundedness, and actually a big thing I almost missed out is that Villanova link, which people don't seem to realize. Brunson, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, which you should know all about. And who am I forgetting? I think I'm forgetting one more.
I think there's four of them.
There's four.
Villanova and the same team.
And as much as we're talking about assets, I mean, I think this is highly unlikely just because of the rivalry. But I want to be surprised if one day people there's apart from Embiid, there's two other players that I think, even if they're not as talented as Embiid, could potentially come in the future for the Knicks and complement what we're already building. Mikal Bridges,
go on.
Because of the existing relationships with some of the core Villanova guys. But also, people forget, like, Zion isn't particularly infused about talking long-term prospects. If, for me, we ever get in a situation where Zion looks for a move, best believe the first place he's looking is New York.
But I would be cautious against the Zion move because he can't stay healthy. And that's your problem.
Yeah.
If you go for a big guy like Zion and bring him in and he doesn't stay healthy, that just blows your whole trajectory.
I completely agree. I think that a Zion train is more like to ruin what you got. Because obviously, what are you going to give up for him? If you give up pieces for Embiid, for example, that's going to be worth it. But with Zion, it's very risky business.
And who do you think you're going to have to give up for him?
Honestly speaking, I think, again, like, unless you're a Knicks fan or unless you like pay a lot of attention to the details, you may not know this. But another thing that worked into the Knicks' favor, especially with the new the CBA, new CBA coming through, is we have very, very team-friendly contracts. Like Evan Fournier, the contract that we're on, that's 18 mil that we could just throw away or just add, as part of a trade. Considering, like as much as there's detractors considering his postseason form, Julius Randle's on a team-friendly contract. Jalen Brunson's on a team-friendly contract. Even for the amount of time that we've got him signed up for, RJ, like, I've always said, like, he's, especially this season, how he's looking, he's tailed off a little bit the last few games. He started off super hot. He was actually, in my opinion, Knicks' best player. Got ill for a few games, migraine, so on and so on. Cooled off a little bit since then. We'll see if he can pick it back up. But he's shown the ability, so I would say, as arguably from this Cleveland series over through to the FIBA World Cup, up until basically he got ill, where he could be the player where in a different setup could get you 25 points per game. Yeah, but where they look for him. No, go on.
So by the time you acquire, say, Joel Embiid, right? And I definitely think he'll complement your team massively. You're going to lose so much. Yes, you do have some stuff in the kitty. I think you've got a few draft picks as well, from my understanding.
Yeah,
right,
sure,
collated. But then it's now really dependent upon what Philly's going to want to do, innit? Are they going to be rebuilding from the bottom up? I don't think they really want to build from the bottom up anymore. Especially what my boy Maxey's doing. Yeah. And I am a fan of him. He's crazy, but then so I don't think it's going to work for you.
I feel like the only way Embiid works to the Knicks is, and obviously Robertson is nowhere near as good as Embiid overall. But we would have to give up Mitch as one of them. And like Mitch, for me, is a type of player where the way we look at Robert Williams, where it's a defensive contribution, but he does so much defensively. Mitch Robinson is getting to that point now where he's doing things with offensive rebounding, the defensive rebounding. I've spoken about his defending away from the rim. These are all assets where you're thinking about, okay, well, it doesn't even have to be Embiid. Yeah. Because now, especially because of the different setup with the CBAs, we can offer different propositions. So really and truly, it's really about how effective our front office is. And
yeah, this is where I'm not being funny. This is where I don't really have that much confidence in Knicks. Right.
With the front office, really?
I don't have much confidence because you pigeonholed yourself to being a very good team, right? Or potentially just a very good team, but not being the greatest team or one that's going to win a chip. So this is where I find in the issue that you currently have, where some teams now, literally one move can literally tip them over, right? You position yourself in, it's a bit cagey for me. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I find like the if we're talking about the talent required to make that jump, our regime started at that point where that talent had already, like if you think about the guys like De'Aaron Fox, obviously Giannis, obviously outside of the GOAT vet guys, right? Curry, Durant, so on, these guys are set. Then you're talking about the next bracket under, right? So you're talking about the Books, the Giannis's, the Jason Tatum, and so on. These are all established guys, and even the guys below that, the Foxes, the Lucas, the Jars, the Halliburtons, really and truly, they were already coming into the league at the bare minimum. It was pre-draft where Leon Rose, those guys took over. They couldn't really start the scouting. I think it's only now you're starting to see the effect of their work. And really and truly, most of their pickups in the last year and a half have been good pickups. There's not really been that many duds. I think the last real summer of duds is Kemba. Yeah, but Evan Fournier. That's a while ago. But that's 2 seasons ago.
It's getting from there to there. And this is what I'm saying. They've been doing well to get to this point, which is great. And I can see how they play. That's why I said they're great in terms of playoffs because of their defense especially, right? Fantastic. But they'll never get the chip. They can't. They position themselves in a way in which regardless of whatever trade they make or whatever acquisition they make, they're going to lose and it's just going to offset and go back into exactly where they are.
I think,
do you see where I'm coming from?
I'm just listening to you with your points. You're both making very good points. I see what you're saying and I see what you're saying. One thing I'll say about what you're saying, Kane, is that when I see Knicks in the places somewhere like where OKC are right now. But OKC, I think, have a higher ceiling than the talent.
They've got the talent they've got.
Because the talent they've got is crazy, but the picks that they have, they can use to trade to get someone in is way bigger than what you've got. And like Cons is saying, for you to get yourself an Embiid, you're going to lose a lot of what is good about you right now. OKC don't have to lose anything.
So if the question is, because like to the point I was making before about the talent available, right? So let's say we take Embiid out. What talent do you see being available in the next 2 to 3? To be fair, I want to say 2 max, really. This summer and next, that could be potentially there for a team like the Knicks to trade for.
What I will say for you guys, I reckon trading is going to be difficult because you mentioned team-friendly contracts. If you want a superstar, you have to piece together a lot of players. So I reckon you're better off going down a free agent route. Like you said, people on team-friendly deals, you've got more cap space. So I reckon to trade for someone is going to be quite difficult. That's going to be very difficult.
That's what I was thinking. And I was thinking where the Knicks are now is where the Nets were before they got Kyrie and KD. Yeah. So you need to go the free agency route so you don't lose anything. Like you said, you get rid of Fournier and I think DiVincenzo's contract's not a long contract either. But he's a good role player. You know what I'm saying? He will come out the weak side and dunk on somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's not a joke. And he's got a chip as well, so he's got experience. But that's the route the Knicks need to go. You don't need to throw away your picks and you don't need to trade away your pieces. Just bide the time and wait. Be patient. And wait for free agencies.
Because I think, like at the end of the day, if you look at the teams competing at the moment, like Bucks they're literally set to win now.
Yeah.
You've got 3 big teams ahead of you. Yeah. So you have to be patient. You can't just force it and you end up trying to take 3 steps forward and you fall on your face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just 1 step at a time. And then also, what I will say about the Knicks is what an issue is. If you bring in, like you said earlier, a Zion or somebody like that then relegates Randall to the third best player.
It's a weird one.
He's so key. He's pouty.
He's key, but he's one of those ones where like
his mental strength is not the best.
I'd be willing to let go of Randall though.
Yeah. So if you're gonna get rid of him, you need to bring in, let's say, a Zion and another a star like a DeRozan and a Zion. If you can get rid of Randall and bring in DeRozan and get a Zion or a free agent player, then yeah.
Do you think they need? Do you think if they were to get rid of Randall and let's say you get rid of Randall, you get rid of Robinson? Do you really need? Because they've still got star caliber players. There.
No, that's your front court though.
Fair enough.
So that's your whole front, and those two actually work well together.
That's true. That's true.
I'm having a quick look at like the free agents next year. So, I mean, most of the free agents are older ones. Some of the guys are the four that we've been looking at is OG Anunoby from Toronto.
Who's on your list for free agents?
Yeah, he's on there.
It's not a great list to be fair.
Yeah, it's not a great list. Even if you look at 2025.
Yeah, like Siakam would be perfect for you.
Yeah,
But you win no one a chip.
Huh?
He's not gonna win you a chip though.
I would.
Yeah, but it's still a step forward.
Yeah.
It's still a safe step forward. Yeah, he's got a chip.
He'd be better for
Who won that chip though?
He was integral in winning that chip.
Who's more integral?
Huh?
Obviously, but everyone knows who the guy was in that team.
What on the closeout game he played better than Kawhi?
What? The final game?
Well, look at Kawhi's closeout games.
Yeah.
He didn't play well. He did not play well, bro.
The thing I'm looking at now.
Kawhi dragged him through that players kicking and screaming, man. He dragged him through.
The thing that I think is interesting now, it's not so much who else is available in 2025, is the fact that both, like, obviously you can see Randall and Brunson are up.
Yeah.
So actually, to your point, it's, or to both of you guys' points, it's not about rushing the championship run in the next 2 years. It's actually just be as good as you can, because it's out of them two, we have to make it. We can't re-sign both.
25, 26, yeah.
So just talking to that and thinking ahead to championships, do you really feel like Knicks are in a position to really challenge for a championship in the next 2, 3, 4 years?
I feel like, to your point, like you said, it depends on like who we sign. I think where you don't want to rely on things outside your control, who's going to be available, so on and so on, you got to rely internally. I think we have the culture to compete at the highest level. I actually think, again, this is more if you are a Knicks fanatic like myself. There's an assistant coach. He's been our main offensive coach the last few years, a young guy called Johnny Bryant. I would credit him for the improvement of a lot of individual players, most importantly IQ, but also more of that ball movement that you'll see in this season as to before. Like the year that we made the playoffs for the first time, it was straight up grit and grind. Who do we have there starting at the one? We had a terrible point guard. If you saw the series that started against that,
Frank?
No, it wasn't Frank. It was my other man.
Pigioni?
Nah, what's my man? Hold on. We have to get the.
Where's he at now? Jumbo?
I don't think he's playing in the league. Is that crazy? 2021 Knicks roster. When the name comes up, it'll be even crazy. Where is he? But yeah, if you look at even that team and the way we were setting up, it was straight up. We had Reggie Bullock, Mitchell Robinson.
Definitely overperforming.
Yeah, we were overperforming, but that was on just vibes and just grit. The following season, obviously, we tried to go more offensive with Kemba and Fournier. They were absolutely washouts, complete flops. And then I would say towards the back end of that season, it was a bit of a reset. Last season started off a bit slow, shortened the rotation a little bit, and then now all of a sudden it's like a really, really tight group. And then it's more so about player development. A big credit for that is Johnny Bryant. So I think Tibbs opening up his influence a little bit more on the team actually will stand us in a good stead, because as you saw against Miami, that zone defense, you get in the clutch situations, that zone defense, if we're not adjusting to those situations there, I think sometimes looking externally, always relying on that talent works against you, and working on what you have internally going into the next year and a half where some really, really, really high caliber players are available. I think that's where, to Kofi's question, we make that jump.
Yeah, the last things I'll say on the Knicks, me personally, is Tibbs is not a championship winning type of coach. He doesn't have the offensive schemes when it comes to playoff basketball, where teams are making adjustments and all those kind of things. And he doesn't have a Derrick Rose that can get you through that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why. That's why you need a Kyrie or a Dame or Donovan Mitchell, who you're supposed to get. Actually, how did we not?
I'm very happy we did it. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, but free agency, that's who you can get though.
Yeah, in free agency, you can.
Okay, so for me, to your point, and going back to what I was saying, like, but do you get rid of Jalen Brunson? Because for me, I can't play both of them. It's just too small of a backcourt. Way too small. Defensively, knowing like
they're not tall, but they're stocky guards and they can.
But like you'd have to. Who's your lead perimeter defender in that situation? Because all you have to play like really small.
I'd rather have the talent and figure it out.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing I would say about what you said about Tibbs, and I agree with you, he's not the greatest offensive coach, but I always say the offense will win you games, the defense will win you a championship.
Yeah, but he has no offense. That's what we keep. The Knicks, when they get in the playoffs, they can't score.
But like when he
That's
was
what I'm
at
saying.
Chicago, when he was at Chicago, who's he up against? LeBron. Minnesota, did he ever have the offensive talent to obviously overcome? And I actually think this is probably, this team generally will be his best all-round offensive.
Yeah, but look at the scores in those Chicago games against the Cavs and that. It's low-scoring games. It's like 87, 90 something, and there's Derrick Rose just doing Derrick Rose stuff.
Basically.
There wasn't like no great offensive scheme. Lou Deng was doing his bits and bobs. You know what I'm saying? But it's all defense. It's a slugfest. We're gonna play dirty basketball, rigid East Coast basketball, and we're gonna try and sneak a win. Like you can't run offensive schemes, get people open, get other people shots.
Yeah.
So he's improved since then, naturally, and players are more skilled than then. Like you said, your supporting cast, you got guys that can like score on 2 levels. DiVincenzo 3, he's got a decent jump shot. Like you see him quickly get to the rim now. His 3 balls way improved. You know what I'm saying? And then topping, he's a good. He run the floor, get out in transition, make his dunks.
Obviously, he's gone now.
He's gone.
Like RJ,
RJ,
better decision making around the rim.
Everybody has made a step forward, and then you know who your player 1 and 2 is. Everybody's made a step forward, so I like that. But I just don't think you have enough without getting a bona fide superstar, which would be a Donovan Mitchell, a Zion. Like if you could somehow get both of them there in the next 2-3 years, and maybe then you'd let go of Randall. Then we're talking business. Yeah. But the main issue you have, you got those big 3 monsters in front.
Yeah.
You got the Celtics. They ain't going anywhere anytime soon. You got the Bucks. They ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And you got Philadelphia. As long as Embiid's there and Maxey keeps doing what he's doing, and if they get Tobias off that contract and they pick up like a Paul George in a year or 2 or something like that,
I think
that's crazy.
I think that's just the East. When you then think about championship-wise, Denver are not going anywhere soon, right? And obviously, I've said Denver. I think are going to win it. But when you look at it, Knicks have got so far to go to get to just even be able to compete, let alone win. Just to be able to compete, I think you really, as I said, start. I don't like Knicks because I don't like your fan. But thinking of it from a basketball perspective, like you are playing really, really good basketball at the moment. Really high basketball. It's actually nice to watch, But I think there's just too much. There's too many good teams in the league, and there's not enough players that will be available for you to add to your squad, because
without diminishing,
well, you have to take away from your squad to add them. Yeah. So and I think that's where the problem.
Do you not think? And this doesn't apply to the Knicks. Obviously, a lot of other franchises could obviously take advantage of it. But do you not think because I guess my head keeps on going back to the money, because of that there are potential implications that we're not accounting for, because essentially it's like a 2 superstar max. Or 2 stars max. Yeah,
the only team that's really going to feel it are the Celtics.
Yeah,
because I don't know how they're going to be paying both Tatum and Brent Brown. So I think if anyone's really going to feel it, will be them.
Isn't they drafted both of them though?
They did draft. Yeah, that makes it even worse. They drafted both of them. Both of them were all-star like first team, so they can both get the supermax. So that makes it even worse.
You get exemptions, though, innit? Oh, that's like the Clay, Draymond, and
that's why
Steph,
they pay all of them.
Which is why you can get away with that.
Okay, but even so,
the depth will be
exactly.
Yeah.
But what about everyone else? You get exemptions for them, but
in luxury tax.
Yeah. But if your owner wants to pay the luxury tax,
the amount of money,
that just means you got to win. Sorry,
the amount of money they generate, so it's not even that. And I think in terms of the Knicks, I think the best you can probably wish for, if I'm honest, is probably semi-finals in the Eastern Conference. That's your best that you can wish, and come out in the semi-finals.
If we're talking in the next season and 2, I think that's actually more realistic.
But to be honest, even that's a massive improvement, because when I first started watching basketball properly again a few years ago, like the Knicks were cheeks, like they were terrible. So to go from that to what they are now, like improved ever since you got Tibbs, like where's Leon Rose, ever since like the backroom staff has changed, like your front office, like the improvements have been immense. So I feel like you've improved as much as you can now, but in order to get to the next level, you're going to need a superstar.
What was also even just beyond just winning a chip, like we have to also talk about what it could potentially do for the league. Like
that's very true.
Like if we're being real, like as much as we had the Knicks tape era. With Melo and Amar and like Shump and all them, man. Obviously, we're having a bit of a resurgence now. Like, think about like with a lot of basketball media I pay attention to, and obviously even just social media, the conversations that we have. Like, it obviously the flavor is in the West, and it's always kind of been the case to a certain degree. But
for years,
but like the reality of the situation is like LeBron has carried the East,
ever
since he dropped. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if we think about the great teams from the East. I'm not saying like the Knicks are the next great dynasty or anything like that, but I think even just from a cultural perspective,
it's good for the Knicks to win the chip. It'd be great for the
no, but I think
culture.
Even for us just to consider them like a genuine contender with. It's the same thing that I guess even like with PSG in football, what they do is because it's what comes with it. It's like New York would be alive.
It's amazing for the NBA if they got even just to a conference finals, wherever it may be. It's great for the culture. It's great for the NBA. It's great for sale. Like just I think everyone will actually flourish if the Knicks do well in general, just because of how big of a brand they are. You know what I mean? I remember having Patrick Ewing and like New York Knicks trainers and all sorts. I ain't got a clue who New York Knicks was. I cared about Chicago Bulls and right. I say no disrespect, but that's how I end up knowing the brand, innit? Like in terms of the franchise, I end up knowing I was more Celtics, right? Bad Boy Pistons, like that. That's what I was a fanboy of, in Chicago Bulls. So it's great for him, but now I got him still.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, I'm not going to say I hope the Knicks do well because I don't. But like the basketball you lot are playing is good. I think you'll be in and around 4th, 5th seed in the East quite comfortably. I think you get knocked out in the first round, and you just go again next year and do the same thing, and then the year after that.
Man said it's shade for you, bro. Kane said it's shade.
All of this year, like we're gonna revisit this. Now we have it filmed. Now it isn't. Just we'll screenshots now, bro.
We will definitely revisit.
Right.
I wanted to move on and look at some of the key games that are coming up in the next week. Obviously, outside of the in-season tournament, those games because we've already covered them. So on Thursday, we've got Pacers versus the Heat. How are we seeing that one?
Yeah, it's mad because I think they're playing them on Friday as well, so it's reverse fixture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reverse fixtures this week.
Yeah,
I feel like we should pay attention. I'm paying more attention to the Pacers than the Heat in the setup, in the sense of now that we know that they can get some results, but it's also how do you match up against the teams that are going to be in the top 6. In the East.
No, I was gonna say, obviously when we picked out this game, we didn't know Buckets was injured, and obviously Hay was injured, so it's Bam on his own. So that's kind of spoiled it a bit. But I was looking forward to see what the Pacers do in reverse fixtures, and you'll see manner adjustments and how does their coach adjust to Spo and all that kind of stuff. So I was looking forward to that, but we might not get to see that. I think Jimmy's day to day though, isn't it?
Yeah, he's day to day. What I think is that I think the Pacers at the moment they score heavy. They play a lot of. It's not necessarily run and gun, but they're very offensive minded. They're very. We'll go and get a bucket. We'll go and get a free. We'll go and get a free. We'll go and get a free. Heat know how to slow a game down very, very well.
Yeah. When
Heat slow it down, it's how Pacers manage that. It was going to be really interesting to see. Obviously, without Hero, without Jimmy, if they don't play, it becomes easier for the Pacers because, like you said, it's only Bam that they've got there to go. Robinson's still well.
Yeah, Robinson's there. They're just
not really.
The Heat would not anymore. Not anymore. He'll get to the rim because you have to respect his free. He's getting to the rim. He's added to his game on like Clay. But yeah, I spoke about that last week. You know what I mean?
I was looking forward to it, to be fair. Pacers and the Heat's a very good game. They complement each other really well in terms of just as a basketball fan. But Pacers is going to outscore them.
Yeah. We've got Lakers Thunder.
Ooh. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Nah, the King. Man.
Yeah, no, I'll give the edge to Lakers and that.
Oh,
yeah,
King got that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The King.
I hear you. Then we've got.
I back Shea for that.
You back Shea for? Yeah.
He's going to turn up, but it's not even. Again, it's a. I think that one. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
if Chet Punk's AD, if Chet Punk's AD,
we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen.
I think we need to come in there and talk.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Yeah, you know how we said on paper like Suns should be.
Yeah.
On paper, do you not think OKC have a better team than the Lakers?
Oh, 100%.
On paper,
for me, on paper, just because of current availability.
Okay.
And also, I just think the Suns also have guys that are just more just killers. Book and KD are killers in a way that Shea's a killer, but like if you have to compare to your point about matchups, right? I think it's a bit more of that. when it comes to Lakers.
Styles make fights, bro. Styles make fights. That's it.
Lakers may throw in the towel for that game as well.
Yeah, that's what I was
with the in season.
Yeah. Then
crap you for a curveball.
Thursday. Clippers, Golden State.
I'll bet.
Oh my god!
Anyone who Clippers are playing, I'll bet on the other team.
Come on,
right
Steph.
Now. But neither Clippers or Golden State are in the play.
Yeah, no. Right now, Clippers are cheeks. Like honestly, they're like. What's in the
bad if you guys lost at Clippers?
No way. Like Clippers are honestly one of the worst teams in the league right now.
James Harden, who?
It's not even talent. Yeah. That's just like, bro.
He's killing my fantasy.
There's just no cohesion at the moment, man. No cohesion right now.
I feel sorry for Russ.
I will get. I get there.
Listen, I actually like. I don't know, but in general, Russ right now, I actually like Russ.
I think he's brother. I think he. If it's true that he said I want to go and play
off the bench,
yeah.
I think he's gone outside. Bro, you fight for because really and truly, someone said it here last week. James Harden should be the one coming off the bench.
Oh, 100%. But James Harden's ego, remember what we said before on the pod, right? Don't know if you guys heard me before. Bun James Harden. Right? Bun James Harden. I don't care. Right? You're washed. Right? I've said it.
Wow.
Right? You are washed. Right? I tell you who I will take instead. Chetty Osman, right? That bad.
Oh, you're taking the piss.
Right?
You're taking the piss.
Right?
I hear you though.
Right?
I hear you though.
Because at least he tries, right? Right? Because at least he tries. I rather I'm done. I'm done.
Like,
I'm done. Your ego, like the amount of teams and context is everything, and certain type of things have not been his. He should have gone to Houston and just gone and settled himself, right? He should have just eaten some humble pie and left Clippers where they were. Clippers would have been perfectly better off without him, right? 100%. They're not winning anything.
I've got two questions. Past this season, are Clippers contractually obligated to keep Harden on? Past this season, you know?
Well, he opted in, didn't he? So that's 1 year. So I don't think they are.
No, wasn't he's opted in for this year?
Yes, he's opted in for this year, which means next year.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
But I feel like he would have shook hands. There would have been a behind the table shake hands deal. I'm not giving it to him.
Because I think for me, it's a thing, to your point, if I was Russ, and like this completely, I'm speculating here, I actually think him potentially offering to come off the bench actually would be a really, really good long play game, because for two reasons. One, if we know anything about the league, generally speaking, good veteran leadership is like sorely missed.
Yeah,
the league is younger than ever. Mm-hmm. If you pay attention to a lot of sports media, especially the conversation coming from other hoopers, it's like, yo, like a lot of, I actually think, as much as you could say it's going outside, this may actually help out his legacy.
Who, Russ's?
Russ's, because
I've got a thought on what Russ, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah. So since things started working out a little bit better from the Lakers, obviously since he moved over to the Clippers, it seemed, bro, like, we're talking about a guy like that MVP season was insane. Yeah, OKC weren't competitive like that, but like the narrative, obviously after KD leaving, we know at this point, regardless of what we're talking about his game or his circumstances, even though they're synonymous, we don't expect Russ to win. Right, we don't have the expectations, but we know who our ghosts of this era are: LeBron, Steph, KD, in that order, by the way. Having said that,
sorry,
no, that's true. He's right. He's right.
Yeah,
I can't challenge that.
Yeah,
I can, but
what? Put Steph.
we're not doing that.
Yeah,
but I can.
But yeah, but going back to Russ, I actually think now
his head, right?
I actually think that because of the obviously there's always that narrative about ring chasing and you got to win a ring for your legacy to be cemented. I actually think there's a bit more of a nuanced conversation that he may not have been afforded a while ago. So where it took a long time for people to even appreciate guys like McGrady and for people to not hold him to those standards, I actually think with Russ, what may help him, for him actually becoming the leader. I remember seeing on like another podcast, another people they were talking about, like, yo, when he arrived at Washington and you seen the way, they were doing their offense, and he had to be like, yo, everyone slow down. Bradley Beal's your guy. Out of every 7 attacks or whatever, every 7 possessions, he should get it 6 times. The 7th possession is when you get the ball, right? He didn't go there to Washington to become the man, even though he's the former MVP. He's the one who's led the league in triple-double.
I'm going to interject and actually second everything that you're saying. Because after the beginning at Washington, you saw how Washington took flight afterwards, after a few games.
Bradley was second in scoring champion,
right? Like Russ was an absolute monster. He defensively was underrated massively, and then the amount of actually not his off the ball movement, which created space, was brilliant. You know what? That season, I was actually, you know what? Maybe he can work at that.
And even in Houston, I think was that the bubble year when when Lakers took him out? I think.
Yeah.
Like up until they faced the Lakers, like actually
They were doing
remember
alright.
people talking about Houston potentially taking out the Lakers that year.
I think for Russ, I think even though I think he shouldn't have just given himself and gone and sat on the bench, I think I wouldn't be surprised, if Russ ends up back at OKC as a sixth man to give that team veteran leadership and come off the bench and help.
That is the take of the day. That is the take of the day.
Because I think like what you should be looking at is obviously the circumstances are completely different, but you should be looking. I think as soon as Chris Paul left Houston, we thought it was it. He's not going to be part of a competitive team again. I actually think with Russ, it's not the burden shouldn't be on Russ. It's actually we should be looking at front offices who should recognize that like there's a few teams that are dying up for these kind of players. They don't have to even have been at Russ's level, but they have something to offer in terms of veteran leadership. And like everyone knows Harden should be the one coming off the bench, but especially for what the Clippers need right now, they need stability. They need someone to bring them in, and they ain't gonna be Kawhi. He ain't interested in that. Nope. Paul George ain't built for that.
Nope.
We know Harden ain't built for that. Like
definitely not.
Like Russ should be, even if on the bench starting. He should be the leader of that.
He's a natural leader.
The whole Clippers thing, they just need to blow it up. And move on.
But you see your point about
Mount Dudmore. I said it.
Your point about OKC, I think that's an excellent one, and ideally that's where we'll go. But I'm hearing he wants to live in LA.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I hear it, but talking to his legacy.
Yeah.
Imagine Russ going back to OKC to give that, just even if they don't win anything, just to give that young team a push. Because you got to think about when OKC went to the finals. Right, it was Durant.
What, the Baby Thunder?
Yeah, the Baby Thunder. When they went there, they didn't really have anybody that could give them that veteran
Perkins
guide.
He's on a chip. He learned from the school of KG and Paul Pierce and them, man. And he did make a big difference to that team.
Perkins, Russ. Like, I hear you, but
have you seen the way KD was talking up to Perkins after that, bro? Like, they respect him like that.
It's exactly.
No, that's his gameplay. But when he but I'm talking about, you're talking about veteran leadership. They made big strides when Perkins came.
I hear you, but I think my point is taking Russ going there and leading them to like a finals run.
Like his existing legacy alone,
is a big thing for his legacy. Just wanted to move on. One other game, Magic Nets.
I'm going Magic.
Oh, definitely Magic are exciting this season, man. I think it's a good. There's a lot of good things happening over there.
Nets offense without Simmons is a mess.
Really? To be fair, I'm not paying as much attention to Nets this season.
I don't think they know who their primary ball handler.
Yeah, the distribution's not good.
Their identity is whack.
Their best player as a play style of a third man at best as well. Like for me, their best player is Mikal Bridges.
I don't see their identity.
I would say Dinwiddie, but I hear
like in terms of like for me, like
they're like 1A and 1B, but you can't have.
No, it's like a 2A 2B. It's not even a 1. There's no 1.
My point is for their team, they're like 1A and 1B, but they're really like 3 and 3.
Yeah. He doesn't have the personality. Like
clip that, please.
Like Dinwiddie has actually like he's a leader, but he does have the talent to take him up a level.
Yeah,
Mikal Bridges for me is like a great second option.
See, I want to swap D'Angelo Russell for Spencer.
I disagree about Dinwiddie. I think he has the skill set. He doesn't have the mentality.
That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the skills.
He's too relaxed.
He doesn't want to be number one. So
he's too relaxed. No, I got this. Cool, man.
He doesn't want to be number one, and he has the ability to be number one. Really, on a lot of NBA teams, I would love to swap him for D'Angelo Russell, 100%, because he doesn't have to think about that. He just takes orders. LeBron will just deal with that, right? I'd be so happy with that move.
Cool. Moving on. Finally, fantasy.
Peak.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's year one. I'm looking at year one for me over my squad right now.
You say you're tanking.
I'm not gonna say I'm tanking. I'm using this as a transitional season. I'm don't answer you say that.
You know,
he played last year. What's this guy?
The maths ain't mathsing with this thing, though. You know,
he didn't play last year.
The maths ain't mathsing with this thing.
He was in one of them.
See, your team is a problem.
He was in the head-to-head.
Like you're gonna be.
But I don't understand how it says I've won one game, but I've certain times and the points is like I've got 1,500 and the next person's got like 12. So, but it didn't say I won.
When was this?
But you got to think about it. It's not head. It's head to head. Who you're playing against.
Right. Well, right now, Team Thomas got beat, so that's Dale. I'm getting all right still.
I'll beat you week 1, yeah, but that's only because you weren't taking it seriously.
But I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I can't lie. As soon as he two phone calls, I was like, "What? Hold on a minute. What? I almost gave away Harden." But right now, I'm trying to swap him. But people are coming up to me with foolishness.
No one wants that.
Yeah, do you know the problem with my fantasy team at the moment, and I'm playing Faves this week, is that Harden has killed Westbrook totally.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's like Westbrook was getting 45, 50
I'll win by proxy.
And then when Harden came in, Harden's getting
Nerfed
30. Westbrook is getting like 12 or 15. It's like, what? You've killed him totally.
See,
You know what I mean?
I'm on a good one at the moment. I think I've won 3 in a row. I beat Kane, obviously. But
Obviously, don't even say like that, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
But my issue right now, is injuries, man. Like, LaMelo Ball get injured. And we need more IR slots as well.
Listen, nobody's got more injuries than me. Yeah.
Who you got, man?
Yeah. I literally lost a day or last week. Zion didn't play a back-to-back.
That's not an injury though, bro. That's
I'm saying, so he's out. Then Jalen went down for the Hawks. He went down in the middle of a game. He's out for 6 weeks. Yeah. Jokic didn't play because of back pain. So I literally lost on the last day because on the Saturday, the Sunday, I picked up 3 injuries. So everybody's got injuries, and I've already got Beal. I've already got Hero out. And Claxton also was injured with his ankle. Bro, I had 6 man out.
At the beginning, I had issues, bro. I had no James Harden, no Booker, right, for example, on my team when we first started. So I didn't have any. And what's my guy's name? Markin and whatever his name is, right? He's been day to day. He's been in and out as well. So, but like right now, my team's actually all right.
Your team's crazy.
If you want to trade Laurie Markin now, I'm happy.
No. I'm keeping Laurie. I'm
keeping him crazy. You know,
it's Harden. I'll be honest. Harden, I want to swap, but I need something logical, man.
If you add another IR spot, that means everybody can pick up a player. That's 12 players getting picked up. So who you really moving around? There's nothing to move around.
That's a bonus. Kuz.
It doesn't matter.
Devin.
Who's got
it definitely matters.
I picked
kind of crazy, bro.
You picked up him and what's his name?
This is why can we? For me, like I said, it's a learning experience. The next season, we need to like just everyone in the calendar map out like a 3-hour period where we're really going to do the draft proper. Because I feel like, you know, unless we're all aligned, talk all of this player talk, bro. I'm like,
how dare you?
I wasn't in the building. No.
How dare you? No, you messed up my draft because I was on the phone to you. How dare you?
Bro, don't let him say that to you. Don't let him say that to you.
I wasn't even in no draft. I just had my team. I was like, I can work with this still.
Yeah, because you had automatic picks. So all your
that team's an auto draft.
Yeah. Does anyone want to see my auto draft?
No.
Your team is.
Yeah, my team's all right. Just to reiterate, just for everyone watching and anyone that wants to join, especially for the next season as well. I've got a guy named James Dead Harden, Devin Booker, Markkanen, Kuzma, Sabonis, Ivy, Collins, Allen. Yeah, big up Allen still. McConnell from Pacers, my guy as well. A guy named Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know, Randall,
stacked.
O'Neal, right, and then Polty as well. But Polty's kind of dead at Toronto. He's getting beaten sticks.
The monster.
Your team. Well, we'll see. I think
whoever wants James Harden, just holler at your boy. I got you. You can have James. Just give me LeBron or AD.
To be fair,
I need a point guard.
Far behind you. There's only 19 points behind you.
I just need another shooting guard or point guard.
No one playing tonight. You've got a lot of guys playing.
Yeah. I'm good tonight. I've got my starters are all playing.
Well, he's got players on the bench that could play, but knowing him, he's not going to change them.
Not going to change it.
Man, like I've moved Giannis to the bench. He's not good enough, so I just.
But guys, that's a wrap for this week. Kane, thank you again for being here.
Orange and blue skies, baby. Orange and blue skies. That's what we do.
Next time you're here, I think your Knicks will be knocked out anyway.
No, listen, I'm going to be here earlier than everyone, bro. I'm going to have this whole thing decked out. The whole setup's going to be orange and blue. We're gonna have a couple Arsenal tops as well, obviously, to like
Arsenal tops.
Just to feng shui the area as well.
You know who they remind me of? Yeah, Arsenal are like pretty much like the Knicks. They'll do well. They'll do okay. Right, you know, like Arsenal, was it 93% top of the league and then just bottled it at the end?
You're talking crazy, bro.
Right? So,
what is score tonight?
What's the Arsenal score today? What's our score right now?
What's the score now?
I don't even know.
5-0.
It's 5-0.
Who they playing? Peckham United.
Better team than your team.
Bro, you are not allowed to say statements like that no more.
But
we won't do that.
I want to keep it. Basketball pod. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to tune in next week. Peace.
Like, subscribe, and comment. Come on, guys. We need some more comments.
Share and all of that stuff.
There we go.
We out. Thanks for watching another episode of the With the English podcast. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment if you wish. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you get the notifications. And when we've got new content for you guys, hit you on the rebound.